We're back to the Neil Haley Show here on the Caregiver Dave Celebrity segment. I'm excited to welcome to the program Caregiver Dave Nasani. Dave, what's going on? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. We're selling a lot of gas and we're waiting for our movie to come out any day now.
Exactly. And our guest today is going to make you happy because, again, as owning a gas station and being a former mechanic, you understand this industry. Amelia Dalgaard, and she is known as MotorHead Mama. Amelia, thanks for
Head
stopping
mama.
by. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, so tell me, was your love of cars since you were a little girl?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In fact, my dad was an ad guy and had great cars in the driveway, including like a Levi's Gremlin. And so we had a lot of fun as kids riding around in new cars.
Awesome,
Wow.
awesome.
Was he a mechanic? Did he work on them or he just like to buy them?
He was a copywriter for an ad agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he tinker around under the hood or no? Couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We had a pit in the garage, and I would get under there with him, and he taught me lots of stuff. And my brother was into muscle cars, actually, so we had a bit of fun with that too.
How big was his collection?
I was thinking about that today. There were always at least five cars in the driveway, and
Wow.
usually one of them actually ran.
When did you? So you and took the same. Were you part of? You said you did ad agency work as well yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, what happens? Your father taught you that business. Then it sounds like.
A little bit, yeah. And I was a TV producer as well. But you just sort of get the bug, and it's really hard to shake it. I'm sure you
Is
guys
he
can
still
relate.
alive?
He's not, but I'm
Oh,
sure he approves.
So
yeah,
what?
I bet he does.
So going back to Amelia, when you're talking about specifically enough, when you started, so you said you're a TV producer. So tell us some of that background before cars became your thing as Motorhead
Sure.
Mama. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wanted to be a music writer, and I ended up getting a job working for an editor at Rolling Stone who was working at VH1, and one thing led to another, and I ended up on a show called Pop Up Video, if you guys remember
Oh
that.
yeah, I
Yes,
remember that.
there were five of us in the beginning, and then it just exploded. And I had a ball doing that. In fact, my favorite one we popped was a Jamiroquai video that was all about the cars that he was driving in the south of France. And everybody was like, why is Amelia freaking out about the Jamiroquai video? I was like, watch it. It's amazing. Look at those cars. So, yeah. And then I moved to LA to work at Paramount in development. And when I got here, I was like, oh my God, these are my people. Look at these cars. It's the greatest. This is the greatest thing in the world. And then when my kids were little, was doing something else, and I got kind of bored. So I would take pictures of cars and send them to my friends with like smart ass comments, right? And one of my friends said, you should write a blog. And I said, what's a blog? And so I just decided to start this blog saying what I really felt about cars. And I did it anonymously for 6 months. And then I went to a dinner party, and a friend of mine, we were all talking about cars in the corner, me and the guys, as it goes. And one of my friends said, oh, guys got to check out this website. And he brought up my website. And he goes, I think she lives around here. And I thought he was messing with me. And it turned out he was reading my blog. So yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
Now they say birds of a feather flock together. So actually went to church with Arnie Peterson before he died. You know, he invented the foldable stroller. He started Bob's Big Boy,
Yeah.
and of course he has the Peterson Museum that has thousands of classic cars. And then we had a coffee shop also in Sunland, California, and Jay Leno would frequently come by and bring a bunch of his cars. So who are you rubbing elbows with?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I do go to the Pete a lot. I go to Supercar Sunday, which Leno shows up at. And I'm also a member of the Motor Press Guild, which is just
Uh,
all automotive writers. So it's just like, it's great. And and I was president for a few years. It's a great community of writers and enthusiasts. And I'm married to a mechanical engineer. There you go.
how rare is a woman in your position so passionate about classic cars. Are there a lot of other women out there, or you're like the only one?
That's a good question. I mean, there are a lot more these days because of economics. People understand that women make, up to 80% of the car buying decisions. The number of women who are authentically, they're in the business is higher. The women who feel comfortable enough to admit it, that they're passionate about cars, is a whole nother thing. I think,
And not just married to the guy who is.
kind of, yeah. And so many women say to me, oh yeah, I like your blog. I sent it to my brother. He's into cars. And I'll say, oh, okay, cool. And then they'll just start telling me a story about their first car, and they'll go forever. And I'm like, you seem to like cars too. And they'll go, no.
Well, my first car, 66 Chevelle Malibu 396 SS. You don't see them around anymore. You see 67s. And I sold it for $1,500 when I was 18 years old.
I love that car. The SS, baby.
All right.
Vinyl top.
And
we could talk for hours.
So yeah, you guys can. And are you in LA, Amelia?
I am.
Dave's in
too.
LA too. So Dave's in LA too. You definitely have to connect, especially.
I own the mobile station on I-5. I've been there like 40 plus years. Lake Hughes Road, Interstate 5, right at the bottom of the Grapevine.
Oh, of course.
Going up to Bakersfield, stop by, say hello.
I've been there many times.
Everyone is. They use our restrooms. Hope you had a good buying experience.
Guilty as charged, but I will certainly drop by.
So Amelia, basically through the blog and grew, where is the blog now? And like, has it grown to the level you want, or you want to continue to grow? Where is it, like, giving updates on it?
I mean, I'm a Capricorn. There's no.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Me too as well. All three of us.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. We have to talk birthdays for just a second. On the 28th of December. What are you guys?
13, January.
January 7th.
Oh my God.
Wow, I didn't know that.
All these stubborn goats. I love it.
We'll all get together.
Based
for,
on that, what do you
birthday.
say, Amelia? Where are you going with this? Where
I'm going with that is I'm never satisfied. I'm always climbing up the hill.
Dude, that's how I am.
Right. So I'm really pleased with where it's gone. I've really expanded my YouTube channel, and just being a TV person, I've finally, got in front of the camera. So, listen, sky's the limit. I want to keep going. I'm never satisfied. And I just feel like I have a lot to say and a lot of people to bring out their inner car person.
So what
You
types of
probably have your own TV show like Jay does.
Yeah, I know. What's the problem?
It
Not
can
many
happen.
girls
You
on
can
TV
create-
and cars, it'd be
Yes.
good.
She
Good
can
mix.
create that easily herself. She understands that. So based on what I was going to talk about, Amelia, what types of things are the blog you write about? Give us some.
I do car reviews for sure, because I'm really interested in helping. I can't help but help people choose the right car, and I think it's really critical. What I love is car culture. I love exploring why people drive what they do, how people express themselves through their cars. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And the weirder, the better. The guy that covers his car in duct tape or, murders it out. I just love that. And I feel really fortunate to live where I live because I see such great stuff on the roads. But I think there's a lot on the roads everywhere, and just people have to tune in. And I kind of like bringing that out in them. That's, yeah, for sure.
That's a great topic, because I always ask myself, I've always wanted a red 57 Corvette convertible, and I just got my dream car. It's not a convertible. I mean, it's not a Corvette, but it's a Mazda Miata red convertible, and you know what, I could drive it anywhere and not worry about freaking out if somebody dings it in the parking lot. I love it.
Did you get the hard top, the retractable hard top?
No, you just boom, goes down.
That's great. Good
manual.
For you. I love that car. I love it.
Me too.
So
I get
Amelia,
comments
based
wherever I
on
go.
writing on cars, do you have a bunch of cars? You have your own?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I have 5 cars.
What have you got?
So my daily driver is a BMW X5M.
Okay.
Because I have 2 kids, and
Sure.
It's a great car because you can look all casual, and then when the kids get out of the car, you push that M button, and all of a sudden you've got like up to 600 pound of torque, and you're having a great time. I also have a P38 Range Rover, which is my dog car because it's just the greatest beater out there. It's like driving a sofa. I have a Hummer H3T Alpha, if you know that vehicle. That's the one with the big engine. And I also bought this summer a 1974 BMW 2002, which
Wow.
always wanted that car. I'm thrilled about that. And I have a Mercedes 430 SL that's my daughter's driving right now. We actually fixed it up this summer.
Cool.
All right. Okay, great. So wanted to go into another question Dave has for you, and that's involving caregiving. So go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, about 25 years ago, my wife, who we've been married for 25 years at that point, had a headache, turned into a stroke. She lost her speech, became paralyzed on one side. And for the next 2 years, we kind of reinvented ourselves. She decided she's going to do everything with one arm and one leg tied behind her back, basically, and duct tape over her mouth. And she's become very famous, like a Martha Stewart and Wonder Woman, just this amazing overachiever with a smile on her face, joy in her heart. And I became Dave, the caregiver's caregiver. I've appeared on 53 TV shows on as many stages all over the world, and just helping caregivers not make mistakes and survive, because 30% of them die before their loved ones do. So have you had caregiving touch your life at all?
Well, first of all, your story is so phenomenal. So bravo. Absolutely. Yeah, caregiving absolutely has touched my life. I mean, both my parents are deceased. So, I think that there was a certain amount of experience with both of them. But the story that I kind of think about is my father. So my dad lost his leg to diabetes, and when he did, that was really hard on him, especially because of his clutch leg, right? Driving automatic, which was hard on him. But he ended up meeting a woman and falling in love at age 62,
Really?
and
That's
she
cool.
was blind.
Oh,
Wow.
And he ended up, she didn't need his help, but he ended up nurturing her. And I think his caregiving took him taking care of her, took him out of his own
Sure.
place, right? Where he wasn't thinking about himself all the time. He was thinking about her now. And I think there's something beautiful when men do that.
Yeah, it's rare that men are caregivers. About 30% of them are. But yeah, absolutely.
what Dave
That's
does is
wonderful.
amazing, isn't it? And then you go to caregiverdave.com, learn more about him. And
Yeah.
Amelia, where can you guys need to connect off air? You got to share, trade information, see how you
Yeah.
guys can co-promote for each other. Dave has a really big following on Facebook, his Facebook page, and I'm sure he'd like to share some of the stuff you're doing, and he could,
Absolutely.
and you could do the same. And then Amelia, you can help Dave out in certain ways, knowing people what his mission is. So best place, Amelia, where you can go. Where can we go to find info on you?
Yeah, MotorHeadMama.com is a great place to start. I've got a pretty solid following on Facebook as well. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram, and I've got a YouTube channel that's growing.
All right, well, fantastic. Best of luck to both of you guys. Appreciate this call. It was a lot of information, and always educating myself on these things. And go to MotorHeadMama.com and CaregiverDave.com right now before you listen to this next guest. I appreciate you guys, and take care. That was the Caregiver Dave celebrity segment, guys. Take care.